Hey guys, it's your girl Tay here, that Amethyst Witch, and welcome back to the second installment of That Amethyst Vlog. I was kind of like racking my brain a little bit to think of topics to kind of discuss because I don't really live an exciting life, honestly. Like, regardless of what you see online, which I just post cringy shit online if we're being honest. I don't really have an exciting life. This room is my life. This computer setup right here is my life. So I was like just thinking or whatever. And when I'm at work, because I have a normal office job now, and there's no shitty like generic music playing, I'm able to listen to my own music and just kind of like do my work. I usually keep like one AirPod in, just because I do have to answer the phone every now and then. So there's like different music that I listen to. Like I'll listen to like my liked songs on Spotify, or I'll listen to like a specific playlist. Oftentimes it is lo-fi music, whether it be like a live or a playlist on YouTube or on Spotify, although I'm trying to shift to YouTube so I don't screw my Spotify algorithm. But there is another genre of music that I have grown quite an affinity for in the last year, and that is Dreamcore music. What is Dreamcore? Right? Like, never mind, like, what the fuck is Dreamcore music? Just, what is Dreamcore? Well, I tried to do a little bit of research, so I had some information to provide you guys with. I gotta say, a lot of this information I got off of the Dreamcore wiki, but according to the Dreamcore wiki page, Dreamcore is a surrealist aesthetic that uses motifs commonly associated with dreams, daydreams, or nightmares portrayed through media such as images, videos, and, on occasion, music. These images express feelings of familiarity, nostalgia, and confusion. Dreamcore shares many similarities with weirdcore, but is more dreamlike, while weirdcore is more unsettling. Now, you're probably thinking like, Tay, how'd you come across this? Like everything and everybody, I came across this on TikTok. That's where a lot of the shit that I see, a lot of the shit that I quote unquote discover is on TikTok. I am chronically on TikTok. It is a problem. So I can't exactly like pinpoint when I kind of landed on the Dreamcore side of TikTok. I would say it primarily stemmed from audios that people were using, and because I am a spooky bitch and I love unsettling shit and creepy stories or videos, horror movies, you name it. A lot of people will use these Dreamcore audios, like whenever they're telling the story of like a paranormal experience that they've had. I think a lot of people used it when they were doing like randonauting videos back in 2020. But now that I'm thinking about it, I think it became prevalent to me when I started expressing interest in the lore of the backrooms, because a lot of Dreamcore music is often tied to liminal spaces, and that is primarily what the backrooms is. I don't know, I kind of just got curious and I kind of liked the way that some of the music sounded, so I went on YouTube one day and I just looked up Dreamcore music and I found a whole playlist of it, or like it's a video that has like a bunch of Dreamcore songs like on it. And then of course like there's Spotify playlists that I listen to as well. But all in all, I really love Dreamcore music. So a little bit more of information that I have. So the exact origins of Dreamcore is unknown. From what I was able to find, it could be tied to 2012, 2018, but it gained a lot of popularity in 2020, 2021, during a surge of TikTok videos containing dreamlike visuals. And I'm going to put a couple dreamlike videos, not videos, I'm going to put a couple dreamlike images up on the screen here so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Dreamcore is commonly associated with images of liminal spaces, but it can also be associated with like unrealistic terrain or fantasy-like lands to give a dreamlike quality. And the one image that usually comes to mind when I read that is this image of like, it's almost like a water park, like a lazy river water park. It looks like an indoor lazy river, and it has like mushrooms like around it. Like it quite literally looks like a fairy forest. But some common features of Dreamcore can be characters with surreal features, text ranging from short phrases to entire monologues, usually in generic base fonts such as Arial, Serif, or Times New Roman, eyes, teeth, other facial features, wings, rainbows, mention of familiar places and people. Now, I'm going to stop right there for a second and say that that is primarily the main image that I see tied with Dreamcore and Dreamcore music is the iconic space of the back rooms where it's that office building. I'll even see it like I'll see the image of like it's a random hallway in a home with the stairs that lead up to like a second floor, and to me it looks like one of my friend's basements from when I was in elementary school. Sometimes it is quite literally just a hallway. I should have looked up the definition, but with liminal spaces, it's kind of like an in-between of where we're coming from and where we're going. So that's why hallways are usually considered liminal spaces, because there's not a whole lot there because it's an in-between point. Staircases usually, and like empty like rooms that you have to walk to. Going down the list of other common features of Dreamcore: seeing yourself, bubbles, RPG elements, other digital elements such as text boxes, borders, sparkles, orbs, old CRT televisions, usually as a head, flowers, mushrooms, strange creatures, and clouds. Because, as the name entails, Dreamcore is supposed to kind of give like a dream-esque like vibe, I guess. Like at the end of the day, Dreamcore is an aesthetic. So the question that begs to be asked here is, why do I like Dreamcore? Because you guys are probably looking it up right now, or you're gonna look it up after this video, or you already know about it, and you're probably like, Tay, like this stuff is really creepy and weird. Like, why do you like it? And if I'm going to be so honest with you, is because a lot of Dreamcore does focus, or at least a lot of the Dreamcore media that I have seen has placed a heavy focus on like early 2000s childhood. A lot of you who have been with me for a minute here know that I grew up in the early 2000s. I was born at the end of the 90s, so a majority of my childhood was 2000 to 2010. And so of course these images of things from my childhood is going to create a sense of nostalgia. Now, some of these Dreamcore music, or some of these Dreamcore songs, just tie into it. Like there's one in particular, it's called School Rooftop. And the one that really kind of evokes the strong sense of nostalgia with me is the slowed version. No idea why, but every single time when that is tied to like an image of like an elementary school from the 2000s, or a playground from the 2000s, or something, or even just like toys from the 2000s, like it creates such this strong sense of nostalgia that kind of feels like a almost like a knot, like something like right here, right? That's kind of one of the reasons why it intrigues me so much, is because a lot of the elements in the Dreamcore media that I have consumed does remind me a lot of my childhood. No idea why, but like I said, Dreamcore is to almost kind of evoke feelings of nostalgia. In a second, I'm going to talk about some Dreamcore songs. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to go on into that. So I have some notes here about Dreamcore music specifically. And I wasn't able to find a whole lot of information on Dreamcore music, but this is what we have. So, Dreamcore music aims to capture the feeling of a dream, a daydream, or a nightmare. So, obviously, the same definition that we got of the Dreamcore aesthetic. So musical characteristics, right, often has a sense of spaciousness and reverb, creating a hazy, dreamlike soundscape, which is what definitely the slowed version of School Rooftop is. There is another one, Hey Kids by Melina, which is one of my favorite Dreamcore songs. Also has those characteristics. Warm Nights, Homage, On Top is another one. Melancholy and nostalgic can evoke feelings of sadness, longing, and a sense of something lost and forgotten. That is how I feel, especially when I listen to School Rooftop, whether it's the slowed version or the original version. That's the kind of feelings that I feel. Like I feel, like I said, I feel like a strong sense of nostalgia when I hear it. I also feel sad because I will never have that ever again. I will never experience like the comfort and happiness that I felt when I was a kid. Like I'm getting this feeling right now as I'm thinking about it. Like I said, it's like right here. It's like right in like my gut almost. And then unsettling and surreal can be unsettling / slightly disturbing and can reflect the nature of dreams and nightmares. So there are a couple songs that come to mind with that definition. There is a song called Never. And honestly, I really like the song. It is really good. But it does have like kind of like, it starts out very kind of like easygoing. It starts out very like, okay, nothing's wrong. But then once you get into the hook, once you get into the chorus of it, it's very disturbing sounding in the sense that like it's got heavily distorted voices and the instrumental just sounds like it's going off the rails, but it is done in such a wonderful and artistic light. I don't know how to describe it. We can I guess you can kind of say that Hey Kids has the same characteristics as well, because the way that the instrumental sounds, especially in the beginning, is very kind of like, it kind of creates a sense of like discomfort. But I love the song so much. It's got a great melody, it's got a great beat. Like I really do like the song. There is another one. I think it's called 747. And it has a very like uncomfortable beginning, just like Hey Kids, but it carries out longer throughout the song. But as I was going further into my research of the Dreamcore aesthetic, I did find a list of Dreamcore video games that I really, really want to try and play myself. So if I butcher any of these names, I'm so sorry. But LSD Dream Emulator from 1998, Yume Nikki from 2004, and then I assume it's supposed to be Yume Nikki 2 from 2007, Undertale from 2015, and Fallen Down from Undertale's soundtrack is on a lot of Dreamcore playlists, and it has actually been, I think it was like one of the first Dreamcore songs that I listened to. I think so. Superliminal from 2019, Amori from 2020, Doll Eye from 2020, Amanda the Adventurer from 2022, Bee Birthday from 2023, and apparently this game just came out, but it's ENA Dream BBQ, released in 2025. So if you have played any of those games, please let me know if it does fall under the Dreamcore definition, like the Dreamcore aesthetic. I'd love to check it out. There is apparently a game that is quite literally titled Dreamcore, and I kind of want to look into it and play it on stream. I just want to check it out. I did find a list of Dreamcore artists, and I only listed the ones that I recognize and the ones that I know. So the first one up is, I think it's pronounced Cyriac. Now, I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with this person. If a couple of my friends will probably recognize the name, probably. If not, the video that I am about to discuss. So, Back in the early 2010s, our brain rot on the internet was a lot different than the brain rot that we have now. And I remember my friend one day, of course, we're fucking around on YouTube, and she's like, "Hey, have you heard of this video called called Kitty City?" And I'm like, "No." And guys, I'm gonna put if I haven't already, I'm gonna put like an image of the video somewhere on this screen, because you guys need to go check this out, because this video is a trip, I swear to God. But I will say that the music does, based off of the information that I have found, does fall into the Dreamcore aesthetic. The video itself is kind of unnerving and real, but I cannot stop watching it. Another artist is Jack Stauber, Mild High Club, Molina, which I have previously discussed, and Temporex. And I think I'm going to link my favorite Dreamcore songs playlist that I created on Spotify, just so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about and what I'm listening to. There is also a video that I have watched that I mentioned in the beginning that I think I'm going to link as well. But guys, I don't know. I just really kind of like the music. It's just kind of a whole vibe. There is this one song, and I didn't list it, but it has been classified as Dreamcore, and it's called Goodbye to a World. And you guys have probably heard it if you have stumbled upon these videos on TikTok, but it goes it's like do 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 do. If I had to pick a favorite Dreamcore song, it is going to be Goodbye to a World. And without getting too personal, I will explain why. Because it evokes a sense in me that's not necessarily sadness, but it does evoke a little bit of nostalgia, because it does have like kind of that old video game 8-bit sound to it. And what always just pops into my mind whenever I hear this song is like little kid me. Like, I'm talking like kindergarten, first grade tape hat. I don't know. It's just kind of like, it does create like a dream-esque like kind of vibe, in the sense like a lot of times when I'm listening to the song, I kind of think about like, God, if I could just spend one day with my past self, like primarily like me as a kid or me when I was 17, just one fucking day, what would I do? What would I tell her? What would we talk about? Like, honestly, if I had the chance to spend one day with my past self and tell her everything without any repercussions, I would. 110%, I would. So that is Dreamcore. That is at least the information that I was able to find on Dreamcore. I really like it, as I said. I really love the aesthetic. I love the music that comes with it. It's very interesting. It's very intriguing. Now, I totally forgot to like look up like the difference between Dreamcore and Weirdcore, but to my understanding, it is the fact that Dreamcore kind of like focuses more on dreams, whereas Weirdcore is like a little bit more unsettling. But you know, if you want me to look into Dreamcore or Weirdcore and discuss it, let me know. I definitely will. This was fun as shit. But yeah, I think I'm going to link I think I'm going to link my Spotify playlist of my favorite Dreamcore songs, either in the comments or in the description, wherever, just so you guys can like kind of see like what is she listening to? What Dreamcore songs is she listening to? And maybe it'll start you down this rabbit hole, down this spiral. If you are familiar with Dreamcore, or you decide to go and look it up after watching this video, let me know what you think of Dreamcore. Like, what are your thoughts on Dreamcore? Do you love it? Do you hate it? If you listen to Dreamcore music, what is your favorite song? As I said, my favorite song is Goodbye to a World, but I really love Hey Kids by Melina. Thank you guys so much for just chilling, for listening to me yap, and I don't know. I'll figure something else out for the next vlog. Anyway, so thank you so much again. I love you guys. Mwah, 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 mwah. Bye!